Hi, my name is Billy Jackson, and I teach mathematics at North Shore Community College. This video is going to be about how to round whole numbers. Before we start to round whole numbers, first I'd like to make sure you're aware of the names of all the place values in a whole number. So we'll start at the right. The rightmost digit of a whole number is called the ones digit. The next digit to the left from there is called the tens digit. Whatever the value of that digit is, whether it be a 0 like it is now, or maybe a 3, represents that many tens. Okay, so if a 3 was there, that would represent a value of 30, which is 3 tens. The next place value to the left of the tens is called the hundreds digit. And let's continue going. The next one is called the thousands digit. These names are going to be very important as we round whole numbers. The digit to the left of that is called the 10,000s digit. The digit to the left of that is called the 100,000s digit. These last three digits right here make up what's called the thousands period. That's not essential information in terms of rounding, but just a little fact I thought I'd throw your way. All right, and as we keep going to the left, the 0 in this example, which is the 7th digit from the left, is called the millions digit. And our last one in this example, as we go one more, would be the 10 millions digit. All right? So these names are going to be very important for us as we round whole numbers. So now let's get into the procedure for how to round whole numbers. To round whole numbers, first we need to find the place value that we want to round to. We're going to call that the round-off digit in this video. After you've located the round-off digit, second, you're going to look to the digit immediately to the right of the round-off digit. If the value of that digit is between 0 and 4, we do what we call rounding down, which I'm going to show you an example of how to do in just a moment. If the value of that digit is 5 through 9, we're going to do something we call rounding up, which I'm going to also show you an example of in a minute. So first, let's start by rounding down. We round down by keeping the round-off digit the same and changing the numbers after it to zeros. So we'll start with this example, 1,524. We want to round this number to the nearest 100. So first, we're going to locate our round-off digit, which is the 5, because that's in the hundreds digit. And we're going to look to the right of that. You'll see to the right of that is a 2. So we're going to round down by keeping the round-off digit, the 5, the same, and then changing the number after it, all the numbers after it, to zeros. So 1,000. The 5 stays the same, and the numbers after it become zeros. So 1,524 rounded to the nearest 100 would become 1,500. A common mistake I see is students take this number that we had, and they see that 5 is the round-off digit. They look to the right of it, which is a 2, and they think, oh, we must round down. And they make the mistake of changing the round-off digit and actually bumping that down to a 4. And that is not the correct way to round down. When we round down, we always keep the number the same. We keep the round-off digit the same. That's very important to understand. All right, now we'll do an example of rounding up. So we round up by increasing the round-off digit by 1, and then again changing the numbers after it to zeros. So we have an example here, 1,564. We're going to round this to the nearest hundreds digit. So our round-off digit is the 5, and we're going to look to the digit to the right of it, which is a 6. We're going to round up by increasing the round-off digit by 1. So it would be 1,000, and instead of 564, we're going to increase that round-off digit by 1 to a 6, and then change the digits after it to zeros. And that's all you have to do. And we've now rounded the number 1,564 up to the nearest 100. So here's another example of rounding up. It's a little bit trickier than the last one. So first we'll start by writing down our number, 1,964. And we want to round this to the nearest hundreds place. So our round-off digit is the 9, which is in the hundreds place. So normally when we round up, we increase the round-off digit by 1 and then change the number after it to zeros. But you can see this one has a little bit of a problem because that 9, if we want to bump up 9 hundreds, we can't just increase the digit by 1 because 9 is our highest single-digit number. So the way we have to think about this is we have 9 hundreds. If we bumped up 9 hundreds up by another 100, we would end up with 1,000. So what we're going to do is we're going to bump up the thousands digit by 1 here. So we're going to bump that 1 in the thousands digit up to a 2. Because again, the 900s, when we add one more 100, we get 1,000. So we bumped up the thousands digit, and now we have no more hundreds digits left. And just like before, we're going to change the digits after it both to zeros. So our number 1,964 rounded to the nearest hundreds place becomes 2,000. All right, let's do another example. This example, we're going to first determine whether we need to round up or round down. So first, let's write down our number, 317,981. And we want to round this to the nearest 10,000. So first, let's locate the number in our 10,000s place, which is the first one here. Now we're going to look to the right of that digit, and we'll see that it's a 7. So, since 7 is between 5 and 9, that means we're going to round up here. And we round up by turning our round-off digit, by increasing the value of our round-off digit by 1, so turning the 1 into a 2, and then changing all the digits after it to zeros. So 317,981 rounded to the nearest 10,000 becomes 320,000. All right, now you try an example. Pause the video and try to solve the problem. When you play the video again, I'll show you my answer, and you can check to see if your answer matches up. Okay, so the first problem you had to try was round 53,549 to the nearest 100. So I'm going to write down the number. My round-off digit, the nearest 100, would be the second 5 here. I'm going to look to the right of that and see a 4. And since a 4 is between 0 and 4, I'm going to round down. I'm going to round down, which means my round-off digit, the 5, stays the same, and I replace the digits after it with zeros. So 53,549 rounded to the nearest hundred is 53,500. All right, let's take a look at the second part of this example. The number we're working with is 1,354,278. And we're rounding this to the nearest 100,000. So that would be the 100,000s place would be the 3 in this example. Okay? So I'm going to look to the right of that digit, and I see it's a 5, which means I'm going to round up, which means my round-off digit gets increased by 1 from a 3 to a 4, and then all the digits after it become zeros. All right, so that's it for this lesson. Keep practicing, and I'll see you soon.